The night of our engagement dinner felt almost unreal, as if I'd stepped into a scene too perfect to be mine. The tables shimmered in the gentle glow of candlelight, soft music floated through the air, and for the first time, our families were finally together in one place. My stomach fluttered, caught between nerves and excitement, certain I was stepping into a brand new chapter with the man I loved. Ethan, my fiancé, looked effortlessly handsome. He kept my hand in his, smiling in a way that made everything around us feel warmer each time our eyes met. Everything seemed flawless, until I opened my mouth and said something I could never take back. I've always been known as the funny one in my group. Quick remarks and dry humor were my safety net, and sometimes I crossed lines without meaning to. That night, when it came time to say a few words, I thought I'd keep things lighthearted. I started teasing Ethan, joking that he wasn't exactly the most rugged man I'd ever dated. The table erupted in laughter, Ethan included, but I noticed his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. There was a flicker of something else there. Instead of letting it go, I kept going. I brought up the time he screamed louder than me when a spider crawled across my apartment floor. People laughed politely, but I could sense the atmosphere shift ever so slightly. My best friend shot me a subtle warning look, silently urging me to stop. I didn't. I thought I was just making the moment playful. Then I crossed the line. Without realizing how deeply it would cut, I made a joke about his lack of confidence in the bedroom. I meant it as harmless banter, but the laughter this time was hesitant, strained. When I looked at Ethan, he wasn't laughing anymore. His jaw was tight, his face pale, and his eyes were fixed on his plate. That's when the guilt hit. I had embarrassed him, here, in front of both of our families and closest friends, all for the sake of a few cheap laughs. After dinner, he barely spoke. As we walked to the car, I reached for his hand, but he gently pulled away. I just need some space tonight, he said. No raised voice, no visible anger, just calm, flat words that stung far worse than shouting ever could. The next morning, I woke up to find him gone. Not out for a walk, gone. He'd packed a bag and left. On the kitchen counter sat a short note that felt like a blade to the chest. I thought you respected me. Last night proved otherwise. I need to rethink everything. I called. No answer. I kept calling until his phone went to voicemail. I texted, emailed, begged for a conversation. Nothing. Only silence. Days later, a courier knocked on my door with a small box. Inside was the engagement ring. No note. No explanation. Just a cold, heavy reminder of the future I had carelessly thrown away. I sat on the couch, tears running down my face, clutching that ring, realizing that one thoughtless joke had destroyed something precious. Through a mutual friend, I eventually learned that Ethan had moved to another city to stay with his brother. He told them he still loved me, but love wasn't enough if he couldn't trust me to protect his dignity. Those words stayed with me, replaying over and over. Not long after, I started therapy. I had to understand why I used humor as armor, why I had humiliated the man I claimed to love most. Little by little, I uncovered truths I'd been avoiding: insecurities, lack of mindfulness, fear of true vulnerability. I realized I needed to grow into someone more careful with my words before I could be a good partner to anyone. Months passed without dating. My focus shifted toward self-awareness, thinking before I spoke, respecting the weight words can carry. A part of me still hoped Ethan might come back, but I didn't let myself cling to it. I had hurt him deeply, and there were no guarantees that healing would lead us back together. Then, one afternoon, his name lit up my phone. The message was simple: I've been thinking. Can we talk? My chest tightened. Could this be a second chance? We met in a quiet cafe. He looked different, more grounded, more sure of himself. We talked for hours. I apologized fully, with no excuses. He listened. He admitted he still cared but wasn't sure if trust could be rebuilt. We agreed to take things slowly, without expectations. It's been a year since that meeting. We're not engaged anymore, but we're creating something new. More honest, more cautious, more respectful. I've learned that a careless joke can cut as deeply as silence, and that the person you love should never be the punchline.